Again, you haven't fought in 4 years. You haven't won in 6 years. You haven't won in a half decade. But if you look at this welterweight division, the WBC ranking specifically, because we're talking about Mario Barrios' title, like, look at these dudes. Who do you want to see? So many people that I work with who don't cover boxing or only follow it on a casual basis ask me, Manny Pacquiao's really fighting this weekend? And I have to explain to them, like, yes. Is he still relevant? And I'm like, well, to be honest with you, he would be right now if he were active, and I guess he's about to be active, the most popular boxer in the world, maybe outside of Canelo Alvarez currently. Still, the same would hold true for Floyd Mayweather, and that would probably include Canelo Alvarez at that point. But Manny Pacquiao, in terms of just pure fame, he's still that guy. Should he be fighting for a WBC championship in the welterweight division right now against Mario Barrios, despite having not won a fight in 6 years and having not fought in a fight in 4? Manny Pacquiao, at one point, pound for pound number 1, as good as anybody in boxing, Hall of Famer, the best of the best, 8-division world champion, never been done. Only Amanda Serrano has come extremely close. But the WBC is giving him a title shot against Mario Barrios, the current champion. I have mixed feelings about this. So on merit, and this is supposed to be a merit sport, but it's not. It's boxing. Boxing does whatever it wants. No, Manny Pacquiao should not be getting a title shot. But one, he's Manny Pacquiao. If he's coming back, it's probably because he's going to fight for a title or can fight for a title and whatever. 2, could I really be the guy say he shouldn't get a title shot when I've been saying that the welterweight division is the weakest it's been in my lifetime? And that was before Jaron Boots Ennis moving up to 154, which it seems like he's going to do. Could I really be that guy? I don't know. You tell me. But in looking at the rankings here, this is not the welterweight division that I grew up with, that you grew up with, where you had at one point Felix Trinidad and Pernell Whitaker and Oscar De La Hoya and, later on Shane Mosley and Miguel Cotto and Zab Judah and Floyd Mayweather and Ricky Hatton and Manny Pacquiao, for example. And even in the 2010s where you had Terrence Crawford, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Kell Brook. You don't really have that in this weight class right now. You have an interesting fight coming up for the WBO title, reportedly. Brian Norman Jr., Devin Haney later this year. Devin Haney moving into the division makes it interesting. Rolly Romero inexplicably has a championship, beating Ryan Garcia. But right now, if you look at the division, Boots is going to move up. Rolly has a title. Mario Barrios has a title. Brian Norman Jr. has a title. I think most people would say, coming off of each of their last performances, that Mario Barrios is the one who's food, quote unquote, the weakest champion in the division. But Mario Barrios is still a champion. If you look at the rankings here, who is more deserving than Manny Pacquiao to get a title shot? I would say all the guys who are active, all the guys who are ranked. But if you want to hit me with, well, who would people want to see fight? Have you seen number 1 ranked Solomon Sissoko fight? With the draw, 18 knockouts. Last time we saw him was on the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul card here, November 15th of last year, AT&T Stadium. It was a split decision draw. He got dropped in round 6, dropped Ramos in round 2. Ramos was 28-6-2. It was a fight that Mario Barrios probably should have won, ultimately did not. Before that, he was the interim champion. He was bumped up to world champion. And here you have your Dennis Ugas, is the guy who beat Pacquiao in Pacquiao's last fight. We'll get to that shortly. So after beating Ugas, and it was a bad fight for Ugas, who I thought was a dangerous opponent, really skilled at one point, underrated, but Barrios absolutely owned him that night. Fabian Maidana. Let's flip over to Manny Pacquiao. So there are a couple common opponents here. Manny Pacquiao beat the undefeated 2019 version of Keith Thurman right here by split decision. It was a pretty close fight, but I thought he edged it out as well. Thurman down in round 1. I think I might have had it 6 rounds apiece, but Pacquiao winning 114-113 with the knockdown. But I don't remember how I scored that. I actually am going to rewatch this fight leading up to the fight itself. So there's the main common opponent there, and also main common opponent number 2 is Yordenis Ugas. 2 years after beating Keith Thurman, Pacquiao returns. He's into his 40s. He's fighting Ugas. It was a fight many people thought he would win. I did not. Ugas has the WBA title at welterweight at this point, and potentially we were going to get Errol Spence and Manny Pacquiao after, maybe. But Ugas spoils the party, wins the decision. I think decisively. I thought he won like 8, maybe 9 rounds in this fight. Ugas did really well. We haven't seen Pacquiao since. 4 years later, he's getting this shot. Back to the rankings. Like, you tell me who you want to see fight Mario Barrios more than Manny Pacquiao. This is what I struggle with, because I don't think Manny Pacquiao should be getting this opportunity. I don't believe that you should just walk in there, regardless of what you accomplish, getting an opportunity for a championship when you haven't fought in forever, when you haven't fought in 4 years, you haven't won in 6 years, you haven't won in a half decade. But if you look at this welterweight division, the WBC ranking specifically, because we're talking about Mario Barrios' title, like, look at these dudes. Who do you want to see? Do you want Sissoko to get his opportunity? That would be the just thing to do. But I'm gonna tell you what's gonna make Amazon Prime more money? They're not pushing PBC the way that PBC had been pushed by obviously Showtime and Fox, and at one point NBC, Spike TV, Bounce TV, CBS, ESPN, when PBC was on every channel, seemingly. It also feels like Amazon needs to put on a banger. You're not doing that with Mario Barrios and Raul Curiel. You're not doing that with Mario Barrios and Thulani Mbenge. They probably need Manny Pacquiao. And if you want to say, okay, maybe somebody else, like look at the IBF. Lewis Crocker, Patty Donovan is about to become the fight for the vacant IBF championship. Lewis Crocker and Patty Donovan, all due respect, that's a big fight. In other parts of the world, I don't think Amazon would be interested in airing that. Even if, it's not going to be a PBC fight, but you get the point. This welterweight division is just not in a great spot right now. And boxing probably needs this injection. But here's the other piece of this. Manny Pacquiao's the underdog. I wouldn't expect him to win this fight based on a bunch of different factors. Manny Pacquiao, 72 pro fights. 72. He debuted in 1995. Some people watching this were not even born. 46 years old, Manny Pacquiao. Also 5'5" with a 6'7" reach. Mario Barrios is going to have a big height and reach advantage in this fight. Huge height and reach advantage for this fight. He's a tall, lanky welterweight. 6 foot with a nearly 6 foot reach. And here's the thing. Over the last 19-ish fights of his career, he recorded this one stoppage against Lucas Matisse. But Pacquiao, everything else is a decision, except, of course, this Juan Manuel Marquez knockout that we all remember from now 13 years ago in 2012. You have the Miguel Cotto fight in 2009. That was a stoppage. So since then, you have 5, you have 10, you have 15, you have 17 fights. So it's actually 17 fights since the Miguel Cotto fight where he has one stoppage victory. So I do not think he's going to come out of retirement and get this stoppage win. And this is like peak era Manny Pacquiao. This is De La Hoya, this is Hatton, this is Cotto. He had that great performance against Antonio Margarito. It didn't stop him, but he had a great performance. He shut out Shane Mosley. The Juan Manuel Marquez fight was close here, and then obviously the Timothy Bradley stuff and the Juan Manuel Marquez knockout. Like, this is sort of the end of like the peak version, the apex version of Manny Pacquiao. So now this is turned into film study. We have the actual fight. This is him against Ugas. So again, this fight was in 2021. Ugas wins, walks away with a title, puts it on the line against Errol Spence, gets stopped later on. Good shot there from Ugas. But Pacquiao doesn't have anything on these punches. He doesn't have anything on these flurries, these classic Pacquiao flurries. See, there's nothing there. Nothing there for Ugas. There's a little more in that one, but it just kind of backed up Ugas a bit. He was able to reset, didn't do a ton of damage. Nice jab from Ugas. Pacquiao is more hittable at this point. right around the guard there. He's trying to reach with that left hand. That's something that Barrios could take more advantage of, depending on how he uses his height, uses his reach. Ugas was landing more and throwing a lot less. More economical, more accurate with his punches. It's not the same, man. Great right hand from Ugas. Look at that. And this is later on where Pacquiao just looked tired. I mean, age, man. Look at this. Another right hand that kept getting around the guard, landing those jabs, double jab. And then you look here, these are the punch stats. Ugas outlands him 1, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All but 2 rounds, outlands him. He's more accurate, really the entire fight. Every single round in this fight, Yordenis Ugas is more accurate than Manny Pacquiao. It's very glaring early on. It's increasingly glaring at the end. Goodness, he lands 16% of his punches in this fight. So judges and copy box were not falling for those flurries. 16% of his punches. 130 for 815. Ugas was 151 for 405. Ugas threw less than half the punches that Manny Pacquiao did, landed 21 more, landed 37% of his punches to 16% by Pacquiao. Jabs, 50 to 42, 21.5% to under 9%. And then the power punches. This is a travesty right here. Ugas, 101 out of 171. 59% of his power punches landed. Also 30 to the body. 88 of 340 for Manny Pacquiao down here. 25.9% of his power punches landed. How does this get better? Is my question. We should not be seeing this fight. I 1000% get why we are. And I understand why Mario Barrios is a champion, because for some people, it will be plausible. It's like, a lot of people watching this fight probably won't even know who Mario Barrios is. No, all due respect. Like, all due respect. They should, but they won't. I also think there are a good amount of people who do know who Mario Barrios is, who looks at him and is like, he drew with Abel Ramos. He lost to Keith Thurman, who Pacquiao beat. Again, different version, but different version of Pacquiao, that is. Like, it's plausible. I think some people can get to a level of plausibility that I can't really get to. Like, I'd be stunned if Manny Pacquiao wins this fight, and I think it would say a lot about Mario Barrios. Mario Barrios better win this fight. Otherwise, he might be cooked. I don't know how Pacquiao turns back the clock. But look, this is what the greats do. People like me and others will be like, how are they going to do this? How are they going to pull this off? And they actually do. But I fear we might be going the other way, where there are a lot of people like, yo, yeah, Manny Pacquiao's back. Like, he could do this, rah, rah, whatever, whatever. I don't know, man. What I saw at 42 was worrisome against Yordenis Ugas. And Mario Barrios beat him. And Mario Barrios, if you want to argue he's not as good now as he was back then, okay. But, like, I can't argue that Pacquiao is going to be better. I don't know. But I think this also says a lot about where we are with the welterweight division in boxing. And that division absolutely needs some juice. 135 is popping right now. 140 is popping right now. Heavyweight, but welterweight, middleweight. This Manny Pacquiao fight has me a little queasy, but we'll see. I'll tell you right now, I think Mario Barrios wins this fight, but I will come up here and absolutely give Manny Pacquiao all the props in the world if he wins this. I just have a hard time seeing somebody come back, given how we saw them look in their last fight, all that time out the ring, almost 50, coming back and beating an active champion. But I'm glad that people get to see their hero come back. There are a lot of people who this is their guy, and you don't get to see these dudes come back very often. And after the fight, we'll be talking about it here on the channel. That's all we have for this video. Make sure that if you watch this, there's a film study up for Alexander Usyk, Daniel Dubois, and we will have stuff next week on Xander Zayas. Basketball has slowed down. Boxing has ramped up. So We're doing more boxing as of late, but we have some basketball coming back also, and some other things. There's WNBA stuff I want to do down the stretch of the season now that the All-Star break is here. And also we have FIBA tournaments coming up, namely the Eurobasket and the AmeriCup. Those are both beginning in late August. I want to touch on those because a bunch of people did find this channel because of my international basketball coverage last year. And that's something that I love doing during the summer. So we'll get to that as well. Thank you for watching. Be safe and subscribe. We got more coming. Take care.